firstlings. We have a few updates about the Resilient Jenkins because our totally unbothered yet very bothered queen of the fleas is big mad. Again, Cal frickin' surprise. And this time, Stephanie is taking shots at the baby moms. Yeah, but first, context. Recently, Drew's first baby mom, Arlita, made this TikTok.
Nobody's hating off of you. What are they hating off of? What do you have that somebody is hating off of? Please let me know. Since you so bold to sit up there and make it seem like I'm monetizing off of you. Because, bitch, I haven't said nothing about you. But I will air him out.
Where she brought up a call she had received about Drew, presumably in regards to his unpaid child support.
Matter of fact, I got a call like 2-3 weeks ago. So the eviction that you guys have is not going to be the only problem that you will have. And I hope you're ready for that.
Child support that Arlita would confirm in her comments that Drew has never paid to her, despite, his insistence, aka lies, in this TikTok response back in October.
This man has done everything he can to provide.
The child support thing, I don't know what to tell anybody. I've been paying for years via garnishment, and I let him. I didn't fight any of it. If the other party hasn't received it, that is not on me. I don't have any of that money.
According to Arlita, back then, Drew had paid her a grand total of 3 cents.
I don't care how many jobs you had. You never stayed at one. And when he was getting a little itty bitty bit, he wasn't getting much. I remember getting in my account that from the state of Oregon, they sent me 5 cents, nigga. They sent me 5 cents, nigga.
While Drew has claimed to have paid several thousand, apparently.
I've been paying for years via garnishment. They've taken out 9-10 grand from taxes. I think I owe $6,000 is all I owe, which most of that got taken care of last year. And everything else is via garnishment, except for now, because I haven't gotten, I guess except for now, but I'm 4 or 5 months behind. Things happen. It's not like I don't know about it.
Now, it's unclear what Arlita is hinting at here, but if I were to guess, it sounds like there might be a warrant out for Drew's arrest. Ooh. Meanwhile, Desiree, the biomom to the Resilient Jenkins' oldest child of the 5 kids in their care, has started the process of establishing a custody agreement. Court for that is in May.
All she's done is talk about wanting to have her baby. She went and filed for custody back in November. The courts set it out to May. So she's been trying to get her son.
Now, it's important to reiterate that Desiree and Drew do not have a formal custody agreement laid out by the courts. They have an informal agreement, aka they co-parent.
There's no order of custody granted by a judge. Both of them are on the birth certificate, so they both have equal rights.
Or they were, up until Stephanie entered the picture in 2022. Because up until then, Desiree says she had regular access to her son.
Can I ask if you're able to visit with him? So I should be able to do whatever I want with Deshaun, but his dad is being retarded. Where the fuck he's being right now, and doesn't let me talk to him, see him, nothing.
In fact, Desiree says that within 2 weeks, she went from seeing Drew and her son, Drew, who she was still seeing romantically, to Stephanie living in his apartment.
Or Stephanie met him online and then 2 weeks later moved in with him. Desiree had been at that same apartment and spent the night there with Drew and Day Day. And then she went back, and that's when Stephanie's kids were running around. And next thing you know, she was cut off all communications.
It's also worth noting here that Stephanie got pregnant pretty much immediately after getting with Drew. So there's that too. Now, Desiree, who has been trying to make contact with the Jenkins since then.
So they won't let you see him at all? No. Even if I went to his house to this day, he has an option to open a door. Or with this bitch, if I go knock on a door, she'll be like, call the cops.
Who has even gone to the school and tried to collect her son and then been prevented because she's not on his paperwork. The school doesn't know who she is.
Yeah, we've gone to the school, Angela, and they are not cooperating. So, no, they won't let her just take him from the school. We have gone up there.
Who has contacted DHS multiple times.
If that's people called and they never went to go ahead. No, so when I called, she was like, I'm so happy to talk to you. You're the bio mom and blah, blah. She's like, we know exactly about Resilient Jenkins. We've been watching the videos and all this stuff with all the 8,000 calls. She's like, you know what? I'm going to try to talk to my supervisor to see if we can have an open case. And she was like, I'll call you back if it got approved. And that whole day, I never got any calls back.
Who cannot get police intervention without a custody agreement because it's otherwise considered a civil matter.
Like, if you showed up with the police and said, this is my son,
the police won't do anything.
The police won't get involved.
it's a civil matter? Is that what they say?
Yep, I've been through it.
Certificate, yeah. Say you guys gotta go to court.
And who is reluctant to do anything rash or crazy or disruptive that would traumatize her son.
And she doesn't want to do anything that would traumatize him any further, like taking him or having whatever happened afterwards, and doesn't want to ruin the chances of her custody hearing May 28th.
Is currently going about this the correct way. She's taking Drew to court.
There's no other way at all. No, I have to wait to May 28th unless, again, I get more evidence and I can take it to the court. But until then, yes, May 28th is the day.
And according to Desiree, Drew is fighting against her even having access or parental rights to their son.
Wait, so you got the respond paper from this recent one you filed?
Yeah.
So then what did that say?
Just, I shouldn't get joint custody. I shouldn't get visitations. I should pay child support. I should pay all the court fees. He doesn't want nothing to do with me, and stepmom this and stepmom that, and da 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 da. I can't believe they're not giving you 50-50. Right, so yeah, exactly. And his dad or she, them, whatever, on the paper for the response says, I don't need 50-50 or visitation.
Oh, and the paperwork wasn't in Drew's handwriting. It was in Stephanie's.
Oh, so Stephanie helped him.
Stephanie wrote it, like talking about everything. He signed and dated it and stuff. Well, she even interjected herself all over the custody paperwork about stepmom this, stepmom that. And you can tell it's two different handwritings. The signature and the information he filled out was totally different than the information that she wrote.
Now, this situation is far from cut and dry, so skepticism is to be expected. However, Desiree has been fairly consistent in her side of the story, including the ugly parts.
Drew never had custody. He was just allowed to temporarily keep him until she got on her feet after a bad breakup. And some rough times with her mother.
She has also been very open with those who come into her live streams to ask questions, often answering the same question over and over and over until you can just tell she's tired of answering the question.
You see, this is just a lot. It's like a lot of this is a lot of questions and a lot of answers. It's just like you see what she posted, and she posted something new about everything, every freaking day. So it's like,
and certainly far more open than the Resilient Jenkins have been. And while yes, there was a period in Desiree's life where she wasn't in a good place, that is not the case now. She is gainfully employed.
And you have a job, Desiree?
yes, I do.
Yeah, she works full time.
She has a 3-bedroom apartment.
And you have stable housing, Desiree?
Yep.
He would have his own bedroom in a 3-bedroom.
What?
And her other son frequently photobombs her live streams.
You have custody of your other kids?
Yes. He's talking to him right there. Sigma!
Look, Tiah said hi.
There also might be a silver lining on the horizon, as if there is a warrant out for Drew's arrest for non-payment of child support, this could potentially bode very well for Desiree come May.
If he went to jail for child support, that would be so great because all Desiree would have to do is go get her son. Stephanie thinks she's stepmom. No, you're not, baby, because if Drew goes to jail, the police will come get him and bring him to mom.
Exactly. You're not mommy, honey.
Because if Drew is arrested, he won't be able to show up to court, which in turn will automatically grant Desiree custody of her son, regardless of whether Stephanie likes it or not.
I bet he has a warrant. Ooh, and if he has a warrant and he shows up at that custody court, then he's going to motherfucking jail. And if he don't show up, Desiree winning. So I hope he have a warrant because that's going to be so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
As for the Resilient Jenkins, with the mounting pressure of just about everything, Stephanie thought it was an appropriate idea to clap back at the biomoms instead of, packing or finding a new place to live, which as of Wednesday, they still have not, by the way. No. Instead, Stephanie decided to claim that both of Drew's baby moms are nothing more than clout chasers, because apparently they didn't have anything to say about the Resilient Jenkins until Stephanie went viral or something.
But for real, I'd really like to know what y'all's issue is with me and Drew, because personally, what have we ever actually done to either of you? That's right, absolutely not shit.
That's strange. If that's true, why did Desiree file for emergency custody in 2022 after DHS received a report from the school about DS having a black eye? I'm pretty sure 2022 comes before 2024, although I will admit I am not very good at math. In fact, Desiree says that she's been calling Drew relentlessly since the Resilient Jenkins alienated her from her son.
I have a paper trail of trying to contact Drew about seeing Desha. All I do is call, baby. That's all I do is call, and if he answers, he answers. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
Unsurprisingly, Drew never picks up, which Desiree then demonstrated on her livestream.
Okay, so since all you guys are on the phone right now, I am going to try to call his number and see if he answers. Tell me if you can hear this ring.
Watch him answer because you're calling now. Because she's probably on the TikTok watching.
Hey, Maya, how are you? Chris, Amazon.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording.
Nope. Didn't answer.
As for Arlita, she's threatened to drop the messages she sent to Stephanie back in summer 2024 when she tried to get in touch with Drew about their October court date for said unpaid child support.
Oh yeah, Stephanie, do you want me to send you the message that I sent you back in August with the affidavit?
Receipts that Arlita has yet to drop, although I'm sure she will soon enough. Even without those messages, though, anyone with a functioning frontal lobe will know that Arlita would have had to have filed well before the Resilient Jenkins ever went viral and seemingly caught their break.
And if you want to go and be like, yeah, well, the baby mama's okay, but they didn't have no issue with us until we went viral. If that doesn't speak levels as to what their intention was, I don't know. I'm not going to keep explaining that.
But, yeah, Andrew, I hope you showed up to your court case for your child support. That was on October 2nd. It is October 29th.
We finally did it, y'all. After 2 years, we got our first viral video. Woohoo!
Not to mention that Arlita was already established on TikTok as a nail art content creator well before the Resilient Jenkins ever entered the public consciousness. She sure as hell did not build her platform off of them, despite Stephanie's manic claims.
It's the fact that nobody thought to question that themselves. Like, really, did you go back and watch videos? Did they speak of us beforehand?
This hasn't been easy for her. It's not easy. She's been targeted. She's been bullied and harassed. And Stephanie's the one that leaked her information.
Anyway, after weathering the ever-swirling storm of anger, vitriol, and outrage from her audience, Stephanie decided to make this TikTok attacking Desiree outright. Writing on Facebook, I keep quiet most of the time. Do you though? But it honestly makes my stomach turn when I see every attempt that's been made these past few months has been more about her, Desiree, making a video and making a name for herself off of the drama. As an aside, I always laugh whenever whenever I see Stephanie complain about other people making content. It's ridiculous, but I'm getting ahead of myself a bit. If the attempts were genuine, Stephanie continues, in reference to Desiree's petitions for emergency custody, as she had also made a second one at the beginning of this month that was also denied.
What she's referring to is Desiree went in March 3rd and applied for like an immediate danger emergency hearing and was denied. Mentioned that they were being evicted and about to be homeless, mentioned that they're being exploited on social media. The judge, she said that that's not a good enough reason, so she denied it.
Where the judge informed Desiree that eviction and homelessness are not considered an emergency situation in the eyes of the court.
Can you try to merge your custody again since they're homeless? I cannot. I mean, yes, but I have to have more proof. They'll just deny me. I can go, if I went on Monday and try to do this again, they're just going to deny me.
Which also just tells you a whole hell of a lot about the state of things in Oregon, really.
I mentioned the calls, I mentioned the past stuff, and just what she said. It's not immediate danger, so there's no proof that I can say that something's really happening to her.
If the attempts were genuine, they would have happened years ago. Except that doesn't actually mean anything. Anyone who has experienced a co-parenting situation where there isn't a formal custody agreement in place will know that it can be incredibly difficult if one of the parents starts pushing boundaries or worse. As without a formal custody agreement, a lot of stuff falls into a legal gray area of sorts. Now add in the part where these are both low-income families who don't really have the funds or the credit to just hire a lawyer and get it sorted. It's unfair to blame Desiree because 2 emergency petitions were denied.
You know, I know that there's been a lot of lies being told on the other side, but, you know, until you have all sides of the story, maybe not make judgments.
And what I find especially strange is how Stephanie's lingering supporters can champion, defend, excuse, and enable the Resilient Jenkins and their problematic situation, but attack Desiree for less. Make that make sense. And let's play devil's advocate for a second here. Let's say that Desiree did file for custody in November purely because of the Resilient Jenkins' so-called success on social media. So what? She still has a legal right to her child as his biological mother, whereas Stephanie does not.
So the only way we're gonna see a judge is if we don't make an agreement in mediation, and with with that person, he's not gonna make it easy in mediation. So we're gonna have to go through a judge.
Stephanie is not married to Drew. They're nothing. She's still legally married to her ex-husband. She has no legal claim to this child.
When we have mediation, Stephanie can't even be in a room because it's not even about her. They ain't married. It's not her say.
Yeah, she doesn't have a plot.
She can't really say anything when we go to court because they're not married. She's going to try, and that's her fault if they kick her out the courtroom, which is fine with me because, baby,
the courts aren't going to care that Desiree filed for custody after the Resilient Jenkins went viral. They don't care. They're interested in knowing why Drew and Stephanie have been withholding DS from his mother despite her requests for access. And really, if the courts have denied Desiree's petitions for emergency custody because they do not think it meets the legal threshold for an emergency, then by that same measure, there's no legal reason for the Resilient Jenkins to withhold DS from his mother, unless they can prove that Desiree is dangerous to his well-being, which they will have to do in May. There is no reason for this. In fact, it is strongly recommended against withholding a child from their legal parent during a custody situation. That and bad-mouthing the other parent. Also not good. Whatever the case, Stephanie will go on to conclude her post by once more bringing up Arlita, writing, "Goofy thing is, if Drew was to do the same with the first baby mama and push for custody, y'all would be quick to bring up his years of absence. Hashtag make it make sense." There's a lot to unpack here. First, way to go in admitting that Drew absolutely did abandon his oldest son. I mean, we all knew this already, but thank you for acknowledging it. And second, this is called projection because Arlita has been advocating for a relationship between her son and Drew as late as 2023, as demonstrated by the DMs she recently posted. Drew ghosted her.
That man that everybody's saying they have two loving parents walked out of his son's life when he was 2. Because I never not wanted my son to not know his dad. And he's asked, and I've tried. I have receipts. I've tried to get him to be a part. Even his son asked, Mommy, I just want to know my dad. Why can't I see my dad? Mind y'all, when that happened, I reached out to him. He read the message, never replied.
Why is it that we can attack Desiree for not being around but not Drew? Better yet, why is Stephanie so comfortable defending a deadbeat dad but not a mom trying to rebuild and reconnect with her child? Which brings me to Stephanie's video. No, I'm gonna go ahead and let this play uninterrupted so that Stephanie can't claim that we're only using 3 seconds worth to build a narrative with, as if that's even how we roll over here.
Go on, explain yourself. If I explain myself, you're not even gonna take 2 seconds to actually pay attention to my perspective. You're gonna go ahead and listen to all the perspectives that I put out there about me. Make that make sense. You want me to sit here and explain my side of the story, but you're not even gonna listen to it, so what the fuck is the point? I even see people say, I'm never gonna waste time and go watch her videos. I'm never gonna give her the time of day. How the fuck are you gonna get to know if what everything is being said about me is actually accurate if you've never given me the time of day to get to know me? You think I give a fuck about your opinion? No. All I will say is accidents happen, and if I was some kind of theft, Drew would not be with me. He most definitely would not be with me. I don't smack my kids around. I love my kids. Y'all just searching for anything you can to try to put the blame back on me instead of call out the person who neglected to be a part of his life up until this point. She didn't so much as call, didn't show up at the door like she be trying to do now. Don't see that, oh, I went to the door and they didn't answer my video. Man, I gotta articulate myself because I'm trying not to come at this as mama bear as I want to, because girl, you don't even know his favorite food, you don't know his favorite song, you don't know nothing about him, and you didn't give 2 fucks until this moment, and that's just, it makes my stomach turn. He deserves so much better. If you cared, the thought would have been there forever ago. I'm trying to push out this narrative about who the fuck I am. Ask the kid himself who he sees as mama.
Now let's talk about it. Beginning with the, if I explain myself, you're not even going to take 2 seconds to pay attention. Blah.
Go on, explain yourself. If I explain myself, you're not even gonna take 2 seconds to actually pay attention to my perspective.
This is a form of defensive victimhood, as demonstrated by this next clip.
You're gonna go ahead and listen to all the perspectives that I put out there about me. Make that make sense. You want me to sit here and explain my side of the story, but you're not even gonna listen to it, so what the fuck is the point?
The thing is, Stephanie could just as easily tell us the truth. Sure, some people wouldn't believe it, but if it's true, who cares? Who cares if people don't believe it, you know? Especially when on nearly every issue that people have raised about the Resilient Jenkins, Stephanie has said time and time again, there's a reason for why things are the way they are, and she will tell us eventually, even teasing those explanations to her paid subscribers as future content. Stephanie is also very preoccupied with how people perceive her and the fact that she can't control that perception, especially the fact that so many are seeking out that information from alternative sources, like yours truly, who take the time to review her content and curate it.
I even see people say, I'm never gonna waste time and go watch her videos. I'm never gonna give her the time of day. How the fuck are you gonna get to know if what everything is being said about me is actually accurate if you've never given me the time of day to get to know me? You think I give a fuck about your opinion? No.
Basically, in Stephanie's mind, there's no point in trying to tell us how we're wrong because she's going to be victimized regardless. So everyone can just F off, and we're the worst. A line from Shakespeare comes to mind when I watch these videos, which is, "The lady doth protest too much." Because again, if it wasn't a big deal, you wouldn't be making a big deal about it. As for the allegations of abuse and DS's black eye, Stephanie wouldn't really address it, saying simply, accidents happen.
All I will say is accidents happen.
Now, Stephanie's not wrong here. Kids get black eyes all the time. In fact, little cursed eye got a black eye back in January when he biffed it on some ice and hit the side of his face off the porch. See how easily I was able to tell you that my son got a black eye from slipping and falling, aka he had an accident? So how come Stephanie can't? If we are all truly not understanding what the hell happened, why can't she just set the record straight? It's not rocket appliances. She can literally just say, this happened, the end. But she doesn't. Instead, she bitches and moans and complains and makes a giant deal out of it. For what? Not only that, Stephanie has chosen to invalidate those concerns, including the very claims that were made by Desiree. Even in her paid subscribers Facebook group, Stephanie refused to address the allegations, writing in what I can only assume was a very bitchy tone, "Why should I? Nobody that claims to know what they're talking about was even there. I would never punch a child. That's the most I'm saying about it." Nah. This, by the way, is called minimizing the problem, which Stephanie will do again in her video, as according to her, if she was abusive, Drew wouldn't even be with her, so y'all are crazy.
And if I was some kind of trap, Drew would not be with me. He most definitely would not be with me.
Also, take note of her wording here. It's not, if I was abusive, my kids wouldn't be with me, as this person very aptly pointed out on Facebook, but that Drew wouldn't be. Interesting priorities, eh? Stephanie then gaslights her audience by stating, "I don't smack my kids around. I love my kids."
I don't smack my kids around. I love my kids.
Which sort of contradicts a bunch of past TikToks Stephanie has made about how she's not a gentle parent.
Gentle parenting don't do shit. I will not raise my kids with gentle parenting. You got me bent back sideways.
She's a 90s parent.
When we was younger, when it was the 90s, if we argued the way my children argue with me, it was right up to the back of the face, back of the head, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It ain't working. The only way that it works is when I'm like, you know what? I'm fucking done. You get up and clean. You get up and clean. Then all of a sudden, shit snaps into action.
Her kids are driving her insane.
And I was gonna come on there and talk about something completely different, but I'm gonna flip and pop. Man, they don't stop. Monkey see, monkey do bullshit. Because I'll be teaching these kids stuff. They ain't doing it.
Etc., etc., etc.
May I help you? Like, do we got a problem? You looking at?
And I'm going to continue to do it, no matter how insane I become. No matter how much the child pushes me, I'm here. There's plenty of space in the world for pebbles and sand. There's only so much space for boulders.
Stephanie then shifts the blame onto Desiree, because of course. Because according to Stephanie, Desiree hasn't called or shown up at their apartment or tried to do anything until they went viral.
Y'all just searching for anything you can to try to put the blame back on me instead of call out the person who neglected to be a part of his life up until this point. She didn't so much as call, didn't show up at the door like she be trying to do now. Y'all see that? Oh, I went to the door and they didn't answer my video.
Then, Stephanie attacks Desiree for not knowing anything about her son, as though this is Desiree's fault and not because Stephanie and Drew have been alienating the child from his mother for the past 2 years.
Man, I gotta articulate myself because I'm trying not to come out this as mama bear as I want to. Because, girl, you don't even know his favorite food. You don't know his favorite song. You don't know nothing about him. And you didn't give 2 fucks until this moment.
This, by the way, is also a common tactic used by narcissists, where they use personal information to try to exploit a vulnerability in their victim to assert control or dominance or to silence them or whatever the goal is. In this case, the fact that Desiree hasn't had access to her child and therefore has been robbed of a personal relationship with him as he's grown and developed, which Stephanie in turn is using to build herself up and to make herself look good at the expense of Desiree, which is also just super icky.
Oh yeah, so that was about Deshaun. Exactly. I've had Deshaun as little I knew what Salty liked to do back then, what we used to do, taking him places. Of course, now I don't know. So I'll honestly be honest and be like, yeah, he's 8, almost 9 years old. I don't know what he likes now or what he likes to play with. And I agree with you. Like, they won't let me in his life, so I don't know. So for her to say it and to make me look bad is what she's doing. Stephanie's just trying to make me feel bad. Or not feel bad, look bad. In front of all y'all, everybody.
Stephanie then switches back to blame shifting, failing to recognize the hypocrisy of her own argument as she does so.
And that's just, it makes my stomach turn. He deserves so much better. If you cared, the thought would have been there forever ago.
Yet, the same could be said of Stephanie. Finally, she ends the video by stating that DS sees her as Mama and not Desiree.
I'm trying to push out this narrative about who the fuck I am. Ask the kid himself who he sees as Mama.
Once more, missing the point entirely, which is that even abused children will tell other adults that they love their caregiver, their abuser. They'll even defend their abuser. Something you would think Stephanie would be wise to, having been in an abusive situation herself. You'd think, anyway.
I honestly cannot grasp how many women are the ones coming at me like this.
So would it surprise any of you then to learn that after Stephanie put out this TikTok, she made another video, this time for her paid subscribers. Now, in my opinion, this video was very calculated. Stephanie knew exactly what she was doing when she made and posted this video.
I'm going to show those stupid people out there that we kids are happy with our mama. Huh. And you're not going to take that away from us. Oh, yes.
And just in case it wasn't clear in the video who Stephanie's oldest daughter was talking about here, Stephanie will helpfully clarify it in the comments immediately after posting the video, writing, "My daughter wasn't calling any specific people stupid. She was just talking about the haters." I'm sorry, what? Why the fuck would your 10-year-old daughter be talking about haters? Your haters, specifically, on the internet? Better yet, why does she even know about them?
I'm going to show those stupid people out there.
Now, there's two things that are likely happening here, either or, if not both. The first is called emotional parentification, where the child takes on the role of the parent's counselor, confidant, or emotional caretaker. Examples can include talking to your children about financial stress and hardships, something Stephanie has totally done.
Further into the day, I had a conversation with actually my same daughter, and she told me what she wants to be for Halloween. She says she wanted to be Pennywise, and I told her we're doing everything we can to achieve trying to get you guys costumes, but at this rate, Halloween's kind of looking like we're gonna have to piece together what we have at home and make it work. And honestly, her whole demeanor just sunk. She was like, I get that, Mom, and I'll do what I have to, but I was really hoping to be Pennywise this year. And it really just got me thinking, how many situations do kids in poverty are they not able to express themselves because of financial situations? How often is a kid in poverty told, well, that's not your opportunity just simply because we don't have the means? Sometimes I feel like the only kids who get a spotlight are the kids who can afford, whose parents can afford to put one on them. And hell, we're just trying to keep the lights on in the damn house.
It can also take the form of the child feeling like they need to calm down or comfort their parent, or the children feeling like if they don't step up and take some sort of action, no one will.
Like I was saying, I just have the motivation to try to keep up on the home. This time around, I got some help from my little twin. She kept asking me if she could help. I was like, if you really want to, that'd be awesome. Said she actually finds cleaning quite soothing, which I completely understand. There's something soothing about the details you can put into cleaning.
The second is that Stephanie appears to have coached the girls into saying this. I want you to watch how her oldest looks over at Stephanie after she calls out the quote-unquote stupid people.
That we kids are happy with our mama.
After getting what I can only assume is encouragement from Stephanie, her oldest will continue, before once more glancing over at her mom for validation.
And you're not going to take that away from us. Oh, yes.
This was absolutely staged. And frankly, it's disgusting that Stephanie is using her children in this way to defend herself on the internet. It's giving weak, but it gets worse. Because not long after this, Stephanie will make it a point to sort of lovingly hug DS and share her version of a "I love you, son" moment. You cannot convince me that this wasn't done on purpose to inflict pain onto Desiree, to prove that her son loves Stephanie more.
Ask the kid himself who he sees as mama.
If only Stephanie's face reflected it. What is even more heinous about it, though, is the fact that Stephanie thought this was a good idea at all. To have her children call out her haters and to make it a point to intentionally show herself hugging another woman's child, knowing full well that she's helping block that woman from seeing that child for no good reason, and to seemingly do it to hurt her. The fuck? No reasonable, rational, mostly well-adjusted, mature adult would ever think to do that, to do any of this. And the fact that Stephanie can't grasp that is such a big red flag to me. It's a very big red flag.
Like, she talked bad about everybody else in her videos. Like, I don't know why people gotta downplay. Like, why do people hate me and you? Oh my god, why do you think people hate you too?
Finally, Stephanie could not resist taking more pot shots at her detractors, be they her haters or other commentary channels, as apparently we need to make content about Stephanie in order to make our car payment or whatever.
I'm just playing. I just thought I'd give you guys your latest shish to talk so you can make your car payments next month.
Yeah, no. The thing that Stephanie doesn't seem to understand is that most people aren't like her. See, narcissists and those with narcissistic personality traits struggle to conceive of the idea that other people aren't like them, that they don't think like them. So it's not surprising to me that Stephanie is constantly complaining about other people making money on social media, specifically by talking about her.
Really, all I have to say to y'all is you're welcome. The only reason your videos get any views is because of the negative, untrue narrative you've set up about other people. I mean, let that sink in. Your content wouldn't get views if you were to do anything genuine about yourself. Yet you post gossip-worthy content, bashing other mamas, and you get the views. So really, you should be thanking us mamas that your content gets any views.
Because that's what she uses it for. That's the only reason she uses it. And this isn't a new complaint, by the way. Stephanie has been complaining about other people's success on social media pretty much since the beginning.
It's fucking wild to me that you can't start your social media content based off just being relatability. People want you to be aesthetically pleasing. They want you to have this. They want you to have that. Bro, I have the same goddamn pillow I've had for fucking 8 years. It becomes a literal question. Will I be able to afford a toothbrush, toothpaste, cat litter, freaking toilet paper, all of these things when I need it? But yet I somehow have to like try to manage not looking like a homeless wreck to try to make aesthetically pleasing videos. Bro, I don't have no clothes. I have no new clothes. I have like four outfits, but even then they don't work with my body that has changed after having a baby. And it don't make no sense to me because I know I like relatability. I don't like people who are fake as fuck. And the reality is, like, none of us can afford to even fucking live right now. I ain't even like mad or heated. I'm just like so confused because it just shouldn't be how it is. Everybody wants everyone to be like straight up Hollywood in their house, all scripted. I was watching this girl on YouTube today and like everything she does is like so careful, and she's like corrects herself if she says, why are we doing that? Why do I need to be aesthetically pleasing and completely scripted for you to acknowledge that I'm just an everyday person trying to make content? That's how the fuck it should be.
With a whole hell of a lot of jealousy and envy, and entitlement and bitterness.
I'm really trying not to be discouraged when I'm getting 4 or 5 views on videos, but like, yeah, I don't know how to not be discouraged about that. I'm gonna keep pushing it. I feel like I'm gonna get a let through on Facebook or YouTube before I do TikTok. Man, I've been posting for 2.5 years on this fucking app. What do I have to prove for it?
Only now, Stephanie has also decided that commentary channels are not only scum, but they are completely reliant on her and only her to support their platforms because, of course, she's the center of our universe. I mean, right now, yes, but in general, no.
Say thank you to all of our supporters, and you're welcome to all of our haters.
And I'm not even referring to just baby mamas at this point. I'm referring to anybody who likes to talk shit every time we pop up in a viral video. What gets me about these videos is that people will really take what these people are saying about us before they come and actually learn anything about us themselves. Or you'll go and watch literally 5 seconds of a video and decide you know exactly what I said throughout the entire video.
It's also why She thinks that Drew's baby moms are trying to do the same thing, because that's what this all boils down to, dollars and cents. And just a whole lot of nonsense in terms of what the hell they thought they were even doing by putting all of this onto the internet. In other words, Stephanie is mad that people are turning a profit and she's not, if her claims are to be believed. Or at the very least, she's mad that people are probably turning a bigger profit at her expense. It also speaks to Stephanie's priorities, or lack of priorities, because Stephanie seems to be more preoccupied with clapping back and crashing out than with actually trying to resolve their situation, like packing, which based on their latest video they still have not started to do, or with finding jobs or putting all their effort into finding somewhere to live, even if that means biting the bullet and asking family for help. Whoa, no! Instead, Stephanie is on the internet raging because she can't control the narrative. She can't control how people view her. So she does what every lolcow tends to do. She throws a tantrum.
You don't know nothing about him, and you didn't give two fucks until this moment.
And then, immediately after, tries to act like nothing happened. That tantrum was merely a blip, a one-off incident, and that it will never, ever happen again. Promise. We're so above that kind of behavior. That's not who we are.
Even just a few hours I spent wondering if I was going to snap back at anybody really just left this negative, icky feeling in my that I just don't like anymore. There's definitely a point in my life where I gave everybody some negative energy. I've since then worked on myself, and I really don't like doing it. I find so much more peace on just focusing on my family and focusing on my growth. If you want to have your opinion on us, you can have that opinion.
And then they totally throw another one, and another, and another. On and on and on the merry-go-round we go.
Okay, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this one. I'm sick of this one.
You should really just keep your mouth freaking quiet. I don't know why that's not obvious to you.
You don't know nothing about him, and you didn't give two fucks until this moment.
In a never-ending cycle of highs and lows and a whole hell of a lot of lulls, until we all get sick of the ride. Anyway, that's it for me. I want to thank everyone for liking, commenting, and subscribing with a big, big thank you to my mods and members. As always, you guys are rad, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!